Africa is to emerge as the powerhouse of the 21st century, as it should be. Well, now is the time to plan for the future. But to do that, the continent has to showcase what it has on offer. And that's why we are here at the SingularityU Summit 2019 under the theme of future-proofing Africa. And of course, we are here to see how technology can resolve some of our global challenges, but also pressing issues facing the continent. So join me, Jumbo, Sawubona, and welcome. This is #Africa. We are at the SingularityU Summit 2019 right here at the Kyalami Convention Center, and I am seated next to the Chief Digital and Innovation Officer from Deloitte SA, Mr. Walter Dau. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the SingularityU Summit. Why are we all here?
So I think first and foremost we had to learn. We had to be challenged, to have our paradigms stretched. And hopefully we can take a lot of what we learn here back into our organizations, back into our communities, back into the areas in which we work.
Yeah, and Walter, I often hear people talking about, future-proofing Africa. What does it all mean?
Look, we're in a significant change around the world. We're talking about this fourth industrial revolution. It suggests something is changing, and it is. This is exponential technologies. Digital technologies are changing the way in which we do work. It's changing the way in how we communicate, how we work, how we live, etc. And so, future-proofing Africa is to ensure that we participate in this big shift, and that through that participation, we use it as a great equalizer platform to uplift our position in the global economy.
Right, and are we saying that technology can be used as a way to future-proof?
I think it's the only way we can use, that we can future-proof our continent. If we embrace the technology, we get the benefits and innovations that come with it. If we don't embrace the technology, I fear that we may experience further economic retardation.
Yeah, and then let's talk about the future of work. We're all concerned. Sure. If we have the necessary skills to meet the future of work, what needs to be done? What does that mean?
So look, again, we need to accept that this change is happening.
Yeah.
This digital economy that we're entering is going to happen whether we choose to or not. And so in order for us to embrace this future of work construct, I think two things need to happen. One is at the leadership level of whichever organization that's been represented. We have to accept that we need to embrace the shift, and we need to modernize our businesses, our operations, etc., in order to benefit from the economic value and prosperity that can be created from it. The next level is to get our workforce ready for it. Now, it's inevitable that many of these technologies are unfortunately labor replacing technologies. But it's not the technology that's bringing about the disruption. It's the fact that the role or that specific job has not kept up with the economy. So the job itself has become inefficient. The technology is just removing that negative attribute linked to a specific role. And so what we need to do is to understand which jobs, which tasks could potentially be disrupted and affected by these exponential technologies, and which are the new jobs and tasks that are going to be created. And then develop a very structured and disciplined plan to try and reskill people from one role to the other.
Yeah.
It's important to understand that those jobs will always become redundant. They're inefficient, and that's why they've been lost. As we move into this new economy, what we're doing is we're expanding the economy because we're creating that economic prosperity. So we're creating a lot more jobs than ever before. And there's enough research that says that if we're well structured, if we've got a really good plan for this transition, and we embrace the digitization of our economy, for every job that we lose to automation, modernization, etc., we will create almost 2 jobs on the other side because of that economic expansion.
Right. And just lastly then, what's the responsibility of employees right now?
Well, I think as employees, we need to take responsibility for our own lifelong learning.
Yeah.
We're experiencing knowledge decay at about 30% a year conservatively. That means that the knowledge that you've accumulated about your industry, about your field of expertise, if it's older than 4 years, it's irrelevant. So we've got to be in this mindset of continuous learning, and we've got to be looking at developing these hybrid skills. So it's not about being a deep specialist in one area, but it's about taking perhaps an old skill with a new skill. So I'm a doctor that understands artificial intelligence, an architect that understands IoT, etc. And then without a doubt, there's a tremendous focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That's important. But if we want to compete with the machine, we've got to bring our best human traits forward, and that's been human. It's compassion, it's the ability to articulate, it's the ability to demonstrate empathy. And again, there's some of the research that we've conducted shows that the jobs that are on the increase are the jobs that require tremendous amounts of social skills. The jobs that are in decline are jobs that fall below the 50th percentile of social skills. So we've got to embrace, we've got to shift our thinking from STEM only to STEMpathy. So combine the human traits with science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Oh, I appreciate that information and insight. Thank you so much, Walter.
Thank you.
All right, then. Well, now, speaking of disruption, let's head over now to Nigeria, where Uber there is shaking things up in Lagos. You know the traffic there is quite bad, but listen, they have now introduced a pilot test to the new service where, of course, they're incorporating boating as part of their rail and road and transportation. Let's find out how they're doing that.
The Nigerian city of Lagos is notorious for its traffic. But ride-hailing company Uber has come up with a potential game-changing solution, Uber Boat. It recently launched a pilot test of the service, which is operating in partnership with local boat operator Texas Connection Ferries and the Lagos State Waterways Authority.
This is a great improvement. You know when to leave work, you know when to leave your home, you know when to get to this to the ferry jetty to get your boat, and really Uber has really set the pace for even every other competitors out there.
The 2-week pilot phase will operate on a fixed route during weekdays from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Uber officials say there will be 4 trips a day carrying up to 35 people on a boat.
You know, the trip from Airport to Falamo by boat is 30 minutes. That can take 2 hours, 2.5 hours plus by road, right? So Uber Boat is about us being aware and tuned in to what the specific challenges of transport are in Lagos and doing our part to see how we can work with Lagos State to try and address some of those.
Passengers will be charged a flat fare of $1.39 per trip. A similar journey by minibus costs 83 cents.
Stay with us because after the break, we'll have more news and views from the continent.